Shidim Shuri. It is Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. Coca-Cola earning is this morning in about maybe an hour. There might be some action going on. Big earning day today. Okay, big. Honeywell, Pfizer, Coca-Cola, Spotify. This is pre-market. After hours, you have Starbucks, Mondelez, all kind of stuff. It's Visa. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be wild. All right, so it's a lot more. Snaps as well. The list go on and on and on. And so, but let's talk Coke. Crazy strong. Out of between Coke and Pepsi, there is no doubt that Coke has been well loved the past 2 months. I don't really know why. That all that fear, as far as tariff and who knows what, backlash from China, as far as what's going on between the U.S. and China. China is a big consumption of Coca-Cola, so they're not switching to tea. I hate the U.S. so much. Let's go back to nationalism and drink tea instead of Coca-Cola. Not. You mean RC Cola is not popular over there? You mean Pepsi is not popular over there? I don't know, but for me, it's I'm not bullish on Coke. I'm gonna wait until earning to see the reaction and maybe play some. Can Coke come all the way down? Why not? Look. In 3 months span, Coke went from 73 to 61 in 3 months. August, November. So what would say that this can't happen again? So there's no rush to be in here. None. Pepsi, which I got. And I'm pretty happy with what I got, to be honest, even though it looked pretty grim. Earning came out. Not a surprise that they were cautious in guidance. Now, the one area that Pepsi is very different from Coke, and I can understand the weakness. I can understand the weakness in the past year. And can anyone tell me what it is? I'm gonna give you a few seconds. You know it. Snacks. Okay, we all know the trend of Ozempic and people eating less, and there's less snacking. That's the fear. The fear is, oh my God, people is gonna eat less Doritos, Lay's potato chips, cookies, you name it. There's gonna be less snacking, and that's what is a fear. And I don't know how real that fear is. I do know the Ozempic and related drugs are working as far as getting people to eat less, but I don't know. Okay, at least the number does not show to me that, oh my God, people are not buying. Is there less growth? Yes, but for now, Pepsi, if you squeamish on owning Pepsi, you see this yellow line here. What is it? Let's take a look. How far can it drop? How far can Pepsi drop? Let's go back 10 years. Okay, you see that? Was an area of support. Okay, so worst case scenario, we can look at 130. Okay, worst case scenario, because I'm gonna zoom into that line of, oops. I'm gonna zoom into that. See that line right there? I'm gonna make it white so it's more distinguished. I call it the line in the sand. Okay, it's a zone. It's a zone. Okay, so if you really want to, you can do the zone. Edit property, add drawing. Let's draw in the zone. And then let's extend it. There we go, done. Okay, so there you go. Worst case scenario, you can see 130 to 126 ish. That go back to 5 years, the zone. All right, let's move on. Now I do have my bud. No, I do have my PEP. I mean, where would I sell? One potential spot is up there at 136. I was thinking about that yesterday. When it was 135, I said to myself, maybe not. But that's very TA wise. Okay, so look, let's zoom in and talk about this real quick. You see this? So it is, yesterday it went green, but it basically trade up until the range of last Friday. Okay, this is the big fat part of the candle. It basically trade in that zone as far as low and high. Okay, so if it can break out of that, right, then the next logical step or spot would be run up there, and sometime by Friday, that 20 MA is going to come down into that 142-ish area. So I'm watching that, depending on where the 20 is, that's where I look to exit. That's it. But strong, very strong. I would not touch it. It was a good trade to make money in BUD, but right now I'm just gonna be an observer until otherwise. Would I buy BUD if it come down to Reflow 200 MA? The answer is probably. I would probably sell put spread below. Where? In the mid 50s. Okay, I feel more comfortable owning a lot of BUD in the mid 50s to the low 50s instead of chasing it here. So for now, I'm gonna put in an alert. Alert right here, just so that I don't miss it in case it decide to drop below the 50 MA. Okay, because the 50 MA is rising and it's gonna cross that. But if that alert go off, then I will start to throw in orders around Reflow and the 200 MA, and then and then if those orders go off, then put spread below or naked put. If everything is on the table. TAP is in the buy zone for those that want exposure in this space. I believe TAP only have monthly option. Let's take a look. Correct. Next week I would start to be more serious about options there, but for now I'm gonna stay out of it. TAP was over. I have not been in TAP since I've been out of TAP. TAP was a frustrating trade for a while. Down here it was frustrating because I bought it here and then bought more here, and then it struggled, trim, and then pop out. And I've been out. I did not get back in on this move here. I should have. Was not paying attention, and then it's too late. Okay, there was about 5 weeks window, at least 3-4 weeks down here, especially here. That was a gimme. And then now, would I consider at the gap fill? Yeah, I would at the gap fill. In fact, I'm gonna put in an alert so I don't miss it this time around. The gap fill is lining up confluence with the fib, so liking that. Last one, STZ. Earning is already out, so on a pullback into the 50, I would probably sell put spread below. So let's put an alert there. There we go. Okay, this is no, like I said, it has the tariff fear going on. So it's plus the one thing that hurt STZ Constellation brand over Bud and TAP is its overly exposure to a weak area in alcoholic beverage, wine. Okay, wine sales has been weak for a long time and continue to stay weak for a long time, and that's where the drag is on STZ. That's why it is weak. Because if you look at the data on beer consumption, it's decent. It's not weak, but when you look at the consumption in wine, it is weak. All right. Let's see in about an hour when all those earnings start to pop up. We'll see how the market react.